because he already became liable for committing theft before he came to the point of transgressing the Sabbath prohibition. Hoyasoa Pora, Ulelo, Uta Borchoa, Shabbos. If, however, one had in possession a borrowed cow and he slaughtered it on the Sabbath, a putter, he's not liable to pay anything. She'isur Shabbos, Isur Gevor Boin Kechod, because his liability for transgressing the Sabbath prohibition and his liability for transgressing the prohibition of theft occurred simultaneously. That's a mouthful.
Okay. Right. Okay. So we got two very complicated dinim over here that the Gemora is saying in the name of Rav Papa. So let's see over here. Oh, we actually have a leftover Rashi from yesterday that we didn't do. Aval Aresha, second wide line, end of the second wide line.
Even in the Resha, the Meta Kedarko, that it died according to its way. Low, not like we said. One here, low. We didn't say Abu that it was mortgaged, that he had a lien on the Hasiman's properties. The low Rami inheritance. The master is not chayav. We don't say that he's chayav onsin al hashoel on borrowing it. We said this. We did this, Rashi. As onsi until the time of the accident. He here ki to Nisha.
It's Nisa.
Snisa. What's that? Snisa.
When the onus occurred.
When there was an onus, l'shoel to the borrower. To the borrower. The low kibo aleha. He didn't accept on him anything.
When the onus happened, there was no longer a borrower in the picture. He had already passed away. And according to the Resha, it says that the sons are going to be putter. They're not going to be chayav on the onus. No liability. Lo kabil alayu midi, and the sons themselves did not accept upon themselves any obligation of guarding the animal, because they didn't borrow the animal. The one that borrows the animal, he's the one that accepts upon himself the responsibility to guard the animal, and so he, the borrower, you could pin on him the chiyuv to pay if the animal dies, even through no fault of the borrower himself. Like Rashi says over here, Mesa Kedarka, the animal died on its own, just died, so to speak, because Hashem said now's the time. And so like that, we are saying that, in other words, even that the point is like this. Yeah, the point is like this. Even if the father did leave karka to them, That's the point. Even according to this, what we're saying, that the sons are not liable, even if the father did leave them property. But the father's not in the picture over here because according to this Resha, the father already passed away, and the responsibility for the onus doesn't relate back to the time of the borrowership, and so therefore, according to this Lishna of the Resha, he's the father. It doesn't go back like that, and then therefore the sons would not be liable even if they did inherit property from the father. That's the point. And that's why the Gemora says over there, Hainu Rav Papa. So to explain that like that, it would come out that Rava does not disagree with Rav Papa. Okay. Oh, that's what Rashi's going to say in the next Rashi. Hainu Rav Papa. Okay. Lou, you want to do the next Rashi? It's Hainu Rav Papa. It's the 1, 2, 3, the fourth wide line from the beginning of the wide lines in Rashi. Hainu Rav Papa.
Hainu Rav Papa. Haisa para genuva lo. So this bull, what's genuva?
Stolen.
Stolen. Like Ganav. It's a stolen para.
Ah, it was stolen to him.
Yeah, it's meaning to say he's the one that stole it.
Ah, stolen by him. Klomar, Ganav, Para, Ma'arav, Shabbos, the
Erev Shabbos.
B'Shabbos, that is to say, he stole the bull from before Shabbos,
Right.
and he slaughtered it on Shabbos.
Correct.
So he's liable. Af shlomin arba'a b'chamisha. Even if he paid 4 or 5, shehare.
Even he has to pay. He has to pay 4 or 5. The extra, he has to pay. Explanation to go. He has to pay the 4 and 5 because he did steal it and he did slaughter it. Even though the slaughtering was on Shabbos, he still has to pay the 4 or 5. And you think, well, wait a second, the slaughtering is on Shabbos. You're not allowed to do that on Shabbos. And now it's going to explain why.
Even he. So you're saying off means even yes, he has to.
Yes, even still, he has to.
Even still, he has to pay 4 or 5. Shehare nischayev b'karav b'keren kodem sheyiva liyadei asur. So he has to pay the 4 or 5. That behold, he's obligated in the current. He's obligated to pay the current before before it came into his hand. It was prohibited. Skila to shecht. V'afal gav, and even though the kinsas,
This is something else. It's not that. He's obligated to pay that kerem before it came to him. If the isser of skila, because he shechted it on Shabbos, he should get skila for shechting on Shabbos, because that's a forbidden thing to do on Shabbos. But he was already chayiv to pay the kerem before that, because he stole it before Shabbos.
So the question over here, though, is why does he have to pay the Daled V'Hei? Because the Daled V'Hei, the penalty of the Daled V'Hei only attached on Shabbos. And
Right. So
on Shabbos, he was on Shabbos, he was chayav skila for being Machal Shabbos. And we have a principle of Kimle B'derabamine that when a person is obligated in two penalties that were incurred on Shabbos, so we say that Kimle B'derabamine says that we give him the more severe penalty, and on the less severe penalty, he's exempt. So it would seem like there would be a makom to say over here that he should be chayav to chayav skila, but he should not be chayav daled v'hei. But here Rashi is pointing out that he is chayav to pay that. He's going to be chayav daled v'hei in addition to being chayav skila. So this needs explanation. Why is that?
So Aval Gav, even though the Kenisa lo ase ale ad Shabbos.
Right.
What is Kenisa?
Knasa. Even though the penalty of paying Daled V'Hei did not attach until Shabbos itself, when he shechted. Because when he shechs, when he steals, he's chayav to pay for the keren and the kefil as a ganav. That happened on Erev Shabbos, but he wasn't yet chayav to pay the penalty payment of Daled V'Hei until the shechita. Because if he shechs after he steals, he's chayav to pay Daled V'Hei. So Rashi's pointing out, even though this knas of having to pay Daled V'Hei did not become obligatory upon him until Shabbos. And so that's an afogav, says Rashi, because we would have thought to say that the principle of Kimle B'derabamine should apply, and he would be only obligated in the more severe penalty of skila, and be putter from the lesser penalty of having to pay Daled V'Hei.
Right. So what's the avagav? Even though
that is the afogav. Even though this knas of having to pay Daled V'Hei did not become obligatory until Shabbos itself. So the reason why Rashi is saying afogav is because he's alluding to there's a question over here. Even though that is so, he's nevertheless going to pay Daled V'Hei, because there's a makom to say that he should not have to pay Daled V'Hei if the penalty obligation occurred also on Shabbos, together with the penalty of being chayav skila on Shabbos for desecrating Shabbos by shechting the animal. is one of the Lamentes Malachas of Shkita.
In other words, even though the paying of Daled V'Hei is simultaneous with the penalty of skila, he's still going to pay.
Right.
And now we're going to see why.
Yeah, we need to know why. Why is that?
Okay, so lo patrina le mitkanse mishum chayiv misa. What is this word patrina?
He's putter from paying. We don't putter him.
He's not putter from what is mikanse?
Kanas, that's the fine, from fine.
He's not exempt from the fine because of being chayav misa.
Right.
The Amar Ba'alo Na'aros, that it says, what is Na'aros?
That's the name of a pasuk in Ketuvot.
Name of the parak.
Name of the parak.
It says Ba'alo
Name of the parak in Ketuvot.
Na'aros.
These are the Na'aros. The
Ansa
maiden.
Chidush. Who?
Knas, Kiddush, who?
Kinas Chidush. The fact that he has to pay a fine is a chiddush. Shetidsa.
Tidcha that made a chiddush on. It's also the word kiddush.
Torah. Hilchach. Afal Gav. De maktil mishlas
Mishalim from pain.
mishalem.
Right.
What is demaktil?
To kill.
Even though he's killed, he has to pay.
Even though we gonna kill him for being Machal Shabbos, Mishalem, he's also gonna have to pay this knas. So he's going to get two penalties leveled against him. So which is an exception to the rule of Kim Lebe de Rabbi Mine. Kim Lebe de Rabbi Mine is a rule that generally we say that when he has leveled upon him two onshim, he gets he only is going to have to suffer the more severe punishment and not have to and not have to be subject to the lesser punishment. So generally we say that applies in the case of a chiyuv for nezek. If the person causes damage in the course of being chayav misa, he'll be exempt on the monetary obligation to compensate for the damage that he caused, because that's not regarded as a penalty. That's not a chiddush that the Torah is mechadesh. You damage some guy's car, you got to pay for it. That's not a chiddush that the Torah was mechadesh. That's everybody can understand that that's what you got to do. Over here, though, we're talking about a penalty of having to pay daled v'hei. That is a chiddush that the Torah is mechadish. We would not have said that on our own. And the Gemora in Ksuvas says that that the rule of Kim Levitt the Rabamini does not apply in the case of a chiddush that the Torah was mechadesh, an obligation of a penalty which the Torah was mechadesh is not subject to this rule of Kim Levitt the Rabamini, and so therefore he's going to have to suffer the payment of the penalty of 4 and 5, and also the penalty of being chayiv misa together. Any more elucidation of this rule over here? Let's see over here. Yeah, if you would ask me, so why is there a difference between what the Torah is machadish and an ordinary monetary obligation? Why is the principle exempt you of a mere monetary obligation, a compensatory payment, but it's not going to part to you this principle when the Torah makes a penalty, which the Torah is mechadesh, that there's a penalty over here, more than what a person would have thought. So I would imagine that what that means, the logic of that is that you see, when the Torah is mechadesh a penalty, that the Torah really wants that this guy should be penalized. When it comes to damages, so you got to pay for damages. Of course, the Torah wants you to pay for damages also, but it's not something that the Torah went out of its way to say you got to pay for damages. That's not a chiddush that the Torah is machadish. When the Torah is machadish something that we would not have known to say on our own, like to have to pay daled behei for shechting the animal after you stole it, we see over here that like the Torah is very particular about that. They say, oh yeah, we're going to make a penalty payment. It's going to have to pay daled behei, and so like that, you see the Torah is particular about it, and therefore it's not going to be mavater. It's not going to relent in the face of him being chayav for a more severe penalty. He'll have to suffer both penalties. In other words, because the Torah wants him to have to suffer this penalty of having to pay daled behei. Okay. Now, that was all very nice, that din of Rav Papa. That's what Rav Papa says. But it really has nothing to do, that what Rav Papa says has nothing to do with our sugya. What has to do with our sugya is the next thing that Rav Papa said. What did Rav Papa say? The next thing that Rav Papa said was, if the para was a sha'ula, so then what did Rav Papa say? If it was a borrowed para, and that borrowed para, he shechted on, then he's going to be pater. He's going to be pater from the general monetary obligation of a shoel to have to pay for the damages that he damaged the item that he borrowed. Right? Generally, if you borrow something and you shecht it, you got to pay for it. Over here, since he shechted it on Shabbos, he doesn't have to pay for it. So over here, the Isser Shabbos and the Isser Geneva came together. Okay, now we have some. So here, this is gonna bear on our discussion with when is the obligation to pay for an onus attached. Oh wow, somebody's got a very long Rashi to read over here.
That goes to the bottom of the page.
Okay, you got 7 minutes.
We're not going to make some of it.
On your mark.
If he had a borrowed cow, the first case was a stolen cow. Now we're talking about one that's a borrowed cow. He checked it on Shabbos. He'd be putter. And this is something else there. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I mean, this is a question of we're following the famous Kamlei the Ramalei, that he's got the heavier penalty on because of what he did on Shabbos. So he'd be putter, he's putter from paying, but because he's going to get it, he's chayiv misa. Anyway, but he'd be putter mina call from everything. And by everything meaning even the Karen, he pays nothing at all. The low amrinim, we don't say b'sha'at hashela mechayev, that we make him chayev at the time of the borrowing lay, a krina that is called. The comma, it's now standing the reshuteh. It's standing in his. It's at the beginning. He's borrowed cow. Lamalach hamavas, even to the according to the angel of death who wants to get to him.
What?
Who it is, the Gazalia that it is. Did I skip a line here? No.
El b'shas tvicha hu de gazle. Yes.
At the time of the theft, he's considered now a robber. The Issa Shabbos, and he has the Issa Shabbos, Viganeva. So he has two Issurim at that time, an Issur of Shabbos. He broke Shabbos by Tabach, slaughtering it, and Geneva, and stealing it. So there are two things that he has. The Ein Ke'achad. It's not like the Ein Ke'achad. It's not like one thing.
Boin ke'echad. They come as together as one on Shabbos.
Boeing. That's not the Ein. That's Boeing. They came ke'echad. They came like two things at the same time. The breaking Shabbos with the Shechting and the Geneva. And it's like simultaneously happening.
Yeah.
And now we niftar mina Karen. Mishum the kamlei to the rabbinay, because of the principle that you have you're subject to the more stringent penalty, which is the misa, because of Shabbos. The Karas Leka, and there's no fine involved in that. Because there's no kafel. There's no kafel on the theft. Below arba v'chamisha, and there's no arba v'chamisha for shechting, for stealing and slaughtering. El rather the ganav atzmo, but on the thief himself, sheganav mebeit balin, that he stole it from the owner's house. Oh. Or if it's an unpaid guardian, haba liftar. It comes to make him pater atzmo betanas geneva of the claim of theft. About shoel, but a borrower. And then in the case it's a borrower case. The Nusa Schar, and someone who collects rent for it, or a renter, the socher, and a no say schar is a shomer who gets paid, shomer sachar. And a socher, that's a renter. So it's either a renter or someone paid to watch it, paid watch, and a renter. They're not going to the claim of being God. Ein behem kefil. There's no kefil on them. Kita amar, like it says, the kama duchte. In any case, amart to shomer. Not if you say that he's shekain mishalem tashlume kefil, because he would have to pay tashlume kefil. Omar the. There's abbreviation there.
Shomer Sacher.
Okay.
All right.
After that, after those two dots. That's a. Okay.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. So Rashi's just pointing out a halacha over here that this shoel, there's no way that this shoel, he's a borrower. He's a borrower of this animal. So even though he, so to speak, steals it, and even Rashi himself said that the Geneva and Shabbos come together, but there's no chiyuv of kefil over here. There's no chiyuv of kefil, says Rashi, because, right? Didn't Rashi say that? There's no. Rashi said there's no kefil. Cannot select ain kefil. The penalty payment of paying kefil, he's going to pay. He's going to have to pay Karen. There's a chiyuv to pay Karen. We'll see if he's putter on that because of Kimlei b'derabamini. But the kefil payment, there is no kefil payment on this guy, because the kefil payment applies to a ganav that steals from the house of the owner, and this guy didn't do that. It was he borrowed it from the guy with the permission of the guy, and then he shechted it afterwards. But like that, there's no payment of even though that's a type of a geneva, but it's not a geneva which he'll be chayav to pay kefil for. So there's no kefil payment over here. There's no daled vehei payment over here because he didn't steal it before having shechted it, and so therefore those penalties don't apply in this scenario that we're talking about over here. Okay, and with that we'll leave it until tomorrow.
Gotcha.
All the best. Have a great day, everybody. Yashik Koyach and Basuras Toivos. And hope you weren't caught at the airport yesterday.
No, still here.
Okay. Bye, Alan.
Okay, bye.